Here's your word for the day from Calvary in Lake Havasu. Visit us on the web at calvaryaz.com.
Hi Calvary, Amber here, and today's word for the day, we are looking at Mark 7 and the story of Jesus and the Syrophoenician woman. So we're going to go ahead and jump in and read that starting in verse 24. And it says, "And from there he arose and went away to the region of Tyre and Sidon. And he entered the house and did not want anyone to know, yet he could not be hidden. But immediately a woman whose little daughter had an unclean spirit heard of him and came and fell down at his feet. Now the woman was a Gentile, a Syrophoenician by birth, and she begged him to cast the demon out of her daughter. And he said to her, 'Let the children be fed first, for it is not right to take the children's bread and throw it to the dogs.' But the woman answered, 'Yes, Lord, yet even the dogs under the table eat the children's crumbs.' And he said to her, 'For this statement you may go your way. The demon has left your daughter.' And she went home and found the child lying in the bed and the demon gone." So the first thing that we need to address in this passage is Jesus' reference of calling this woman a dog. I'm sure if you've read this before, there's been that kind of a confusion or a shock factor of like, I can't believe Jesus just called her a dog. But this is why it's important to understand the culture and the context of what's happening in Scripture. And so to clarify it, the reference that Jesus is using here is not the same way as what we would use it as calling someone a dog in our culture. The Greek word that he is using here, it doesn't refer to a big dog. It refers to a little dog or a puppy. And so how you can interpret that is that it is an endearing term. The other thing that we notice is that the woman is not offended in this passage, and she actually uses the same word and refers to herself in the same way. Repeatedly in the New Testament, there are lots of instances where people are offended by what Jesus says, but this is not one of them. And so he's not being rude, and he's not calling her a dog as in our culture, but it actually shows that he's having compassion on this woman. It notes that she's a Gentile, he's a Jewish man. He could have just completely ignored her, but he has compassion on her and he cares. But he also is testing her faith to see how she responds. And her faith is incredible in the fact that she trusts in Jesus' power and believes that even the crumbs of his power are enough to heal her daughter. And so my question for us today is, do we believe and trust in Jesus' power? See, Jesus does have all power and authority. He has created everything and he sustains all life. Repeatedly throughout the New Testament, we have story after story of Jesus' incredible power working in people's lives. And this woman, because of her faith and belief and trust in Jesus, got to experience amazing life change. But she went and sought Jesus out. She sought Jesus out and she believed in his incredible power. And her daughter was healed because of it. And so do we trust in Jesus' power, acknowledge his power? Do we seek him out in our life, in every problem and situation do we have? And do we ask for his help and then have the faith and trust and believe that he will work in our life? Because Jesus is King of Kings and Lord of Lords, and he is waiting to help you. We just have to ask. We need to seek Jesus out, ask him for help, and believe and trust that he is powerful enough to help us with whatever we're going through. So I pray that today, whatever you're facing, that you will trust and believe in Jesus and that you will go to him and ask for help. Have a great day.